All right, we're here at the farm again, and another question I get asked often is, what is the difference in the colors of maple syrup and the flavor? Is one better than the other? Does one have more sugar content than the other? And no, one is not better than the other, and the sugar content is always 67% sugar. Here's the difference. This is a very light syrup. This is a very dark syrup. For sugar makers, this is the early season syrup. When the sap first comes out of the tree at the beginning of the maple season, it will have a high sugar content. It generally will be about 3.5%, which means I don't have to cook it as long. It means instead of 40 buckets to make 1 bucket of syrup, I might need 23 or less than 23 buckets to make 1 bucket of syrup. And that means it spends less time cooking the evaporator and it comes out lighter. The flavor's different. Often, depending on where you get it, it may have a flavor of honey. It might have a caramel butterscotch chaser to it. It is not a strong maple flavor. Now, when you get to the dark stuff, and this is our Ambler Extra Dark. Beautiful. Our dark stuff has the strongest maple flavor, and that generally is 2% sugar in the tree or less, which means I've got to cook it longer in the evaporator. And as you cook things longer, the flavors change, and the sugar caramelizes more. So if I'm a cookie company and I want to make maple flavored cookies, I don't want the light stuff. That's going to give me a different flavor. I want the dark stuff that has the strongest maple flavor. That's going to make the biggest difference in my cookies. If I'm making cookies and I use the light stuff, I might as well add granulated sugar and save money as a cookie maker than using 100% pure maple syrup that generally costs more. Now, we have at our farm another product that we offer. And the story's fascinating. This is a bourbon barrel syrup, and we love this because we make it with a guy who's working out of Newtown. And we are helping him, and he's helping us. Ridgeway Farm actually helps us produce this syrup, which is the light syrup. We love it when farmers help other farmers. Now, this is maple syrup that's been put in a bourbon barrel. Now, the bourbon barrels come from a distillery in Litchfield. The bourbon's taken out, the syrup goes in as soon as possible. And then it takes on the flavor of the barrel. The bourbon flavors are infused into the maple syrup, but none of the alcohol content. Now, I'm not a bourbon drinker, but I will tell you right now, this is absolutely incredible over vanilla ice cream. Fantastic. Now, the cool thing is, they then take those barrels that had maple syrup in them, they give them back to the distillery, and they make maple flavored bourbon. So, when you're shopping for maple syrup, try the different varieties, the different grades or colors. You're going to get different flavors. Again, they're all excellent. It all depends on what you prefer.